to tell you.
I want to hear it.
I'm coming in pants on fire. And nope, that means you're lying. I'm coming in hair on fire.
What?
I don't know if you want this on pod. I'm pretty confident you don't. But this whole community where I live is caught up in the critical race theory. How could you teach that in our schools? Everybody doesn't need to agree with me. They don't. But they need to at least have their information straight.
Yeah,
nobody's teaching critical race theory pretty much anywhere. It's a law school theology, really, or a concept from the 70s. Shut the fuck up until you know what you're talking about, because I can't with you. And I'm reading threads on the local next door, and I want to cut someone.
I wondered where this was. I was like, this is really like you can leave the picnic table. I don't really know why. It's
right.
on
typically
the app. Okay.
Don't leave the house and engage. But when bullshit creeps in my eyeballs from apps and shit that I do stay somewhat on top of because of, my children are in the world and I need to know some things. Get some information, morons. It's not being taught in your school. You want to talk about your taxes? We can talk about your taxes. But you cannot talk on a subject you know nothing about. Having said that, here we go. Talking about not knowing what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh my God, that's pretty much the mantra of our show.
Here goes. Soaking, a great throwdown, and Alec Baldwin, all this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
It's not funny when you shoot somebody at work. I don't know why I'm laughing about this. It's so awful. The
You're
story is so fucking awful.
You're just jealous because you have had jobs where you absolutely wanted to shoot someone.
Oh, come on. That's so sad.
I can name 3 of your jobs where you absolutely.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And as we say in some other support group circles, I had a plan. I mean, it goes further. It's really bad. None of this is worth joking about. It's all super awful. You know that it's
Amy.
The gallows humor. Hello, Melissa. I mean, we came right out swinging. We came right out swinging. Next door, critical race theory, Alec Baldwin shooting your coworkers. Bring it. Oh, my stars and stripes. What a week.
I came out on fire. Know what you're talking about before you talk about it is pretty much my sole request.
Okay, and that's the show. I guess I have to exit now.
If you're going to be on fire about a topic, you better be able to back that up. Otherwise, you are just light and sound and no substance. You are a dirigible.
My favorite part about all of this up in armsedness is really the forum that they're choosing to engage, because I feel like if you're going to have a healthy conversation, a really thought-provoking, changing hearts and minds treatise, nay, a doctrine, let's start on the Next Door app. I think that's really the place where you should be.
I found a cat. I need a pet sitter. I don't want critical race theory taught in my...
Right.
Good Lord. Good
Jiminy
Lord, people.
Crack holes. I just don't know what to say.
I love
to
that. I love that. Jiminy crack holes. I absolutely love that.
Oh, well, should we ask about your additional views on critical race theory, or do you want to tell me instead about what you learned while touring some college campuses this weekend? Which is it going to be?
I don't want to talk about critical race theory because I'm not in law school, and I don't want to discuss equity within a broken system of everything in this world, not to mention
Pro tip. I venture to say that 1,000% of the people on this Next Door app are white. Is there even anybody in there who is not white?
Know. I bet not, but I can't know. They're just very white names that are put up there. Whitey Whitowitz. What do you think? I mean, does that sound like a Caucasian member?
McWhiten? Yes.
Yes, they're all there.
Blanca.
No,
Denat Noir. Yes. I love that Blanca de Not Noir. She's my favorite one.
No noir. I think they're French. Still white. Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem.
Paley McWonderbread. Yeah.
Yes, that's who wrote the initial text. Are you on my next story? Yeah, it's hard to read that stuff. No. And yes, I was captive in my car while driving home from visiting a couple of colleges, which...
Okay.
Look, my family is completely food and rest motivated, right?
Yes. That's why I love you.
So if you do not eat or get a good night's sleep, stay the fuck away from us. We are bears, except for one of us who's fucking delightful no matter what, which just ignites the fire in the rest of us. When this unnamed human is in a good mood.
We see you, Dr. Dickweed. Yes. Yes. Okay, guys. I found the best place to go to the restaurant.
Anybody want bagels? How about something to eat?
My God. Dr. Chipowitz, why don't you sit down? Yeah.
He tries so hard, and he's so good. And he helped me birth just a mini me who, without food or rest, is just like, fuck you. I haven't shit today. I don't know what's going. Like, I just feel so sorry for him. But we saw the University of Richmond, gorgeous. Got a tour by a friend's daughter. And then we toured UVA, which is also so beautiful, but it was also Parents' Weekend there.
Oh, ew!
So
I would hate
it was just a madhouse, and it
was probably a lot of like fabric covered embroidered crest belts. I think maybe in lots of loafer style shoes. Yeah,
that doesn't waspy.
A lot of ribbons in the hair and ribbon scarves.
Yes, does not fit with my daughter. Yeah, High ponies and
a lot of Lily Pulitzer. Yep. Yeah,
it was beautiful, and it's an amazing school. And I don't know that she really loved either one for her. Mm-hmm. We all loved both schools, but you got to find the right match for the right child. And I don't know that this was not a complete waste of our time. But it wasn't, because on the way home, we stopped halfway and we went to breakfast with a couple of our friends from college. I met up with Janine and Dina and their Dina's.
Fantastic. I didn't realize you had done that. Hello, friends.
Phil came and Janine brought the whole family. So it was kind of great that we got to see them.
Fantastic.
But while sitting shotgun and giving guidance and driving, like, too fast, slow down, like that kind of guidance.
To your husband, or was your daughter driving? Uh-oh.
No, my daughter was trying not to throw up in the back seat.
Classic.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, wait. I got a big tangent. It super has nothing to do with anything, but it's perfect for you. That's what I contribute.
I am tangent.
So I actually bought the world's stupidest glasses for a friend and myself. Spoiler alert, when she hears this, she's going to realize I'm that friend. So I bought those imbecile glasses that have like the water lines in the frame, and they're meant to eliminate motion sickness while you ride in vehicles. Have you seen these?
Never.
They're super dork out glasses. Imagine, you know how glasses have circles on your face that go in front of your eyes. Now imagine if where the temples are, the place, the band that goes over your ears, that part, that would go from the front to the sides. Imagine if there was an extra circle there. Just like the front of the glass, there was one extra circle on each side. Yep. And in all of those circles, they're tubes and they're filled with fluid. So the idea is the fluid works like the bubble level that you would use to hang a picture on a wall, a level, and you tilt it and it's got that little water level and the bubble floats in the right place. The water goes to the bottom of the glasses, so it's constantly giving you a front-facing and a peripheral vision-facing sense of equilibrium. You can always find level horizon because you've got one at the front and to the side.
Is this meant for driving with Stu or being on a boat?
I think it's meant for being a massive dork. Because you look like as stupid as I've just described. Right. So I'm like, this has got to work. So I've got that to think, do you know what? Because we're going on a car trip in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to see. I know the answer is no. I'm going to see if she'll try them out and let anybody else drive to see if she can sort of get over the hump to. And we're taking a car to a ferry. So we're going to have a lot of bumpy rides. You know those ferries. They're so bumpy. It sounds
Where the fuck are you going?
We're just going to Bald Head Island in North Carolina. It's a little bougie enclave where all the fancy people are. We're going to a writer's retreat. So we're going down there. We're going to get our big brain on, have a lot of cocktails, watch the sun come up over the sand, and, whatever, blah, blah. But it's a drive away.
Can I give her some advice?
Tell it.
Don't give Amy truth weed or mean weed, or you won't get as much writing done as you had hoped.
I was gonna maybe bring it.
Yeah, you should. Nonetheless, don't.
I don't think she would do it. I don't think she would do the weed. I don't think she would do. She's not a weeder. She doesn't weed.
No weed, please.
She's a no weed, please. I think, if I had to guess. Hard
Fair
to
enough.
say. My point is, those glasses. I'm really excited for those dork ass glasses to show up. And to be really humiliated wearing them. I mean, it's the kind of thing where when COVID first came around, people would get those like spelunking suits, the one where it's like you're in the 1940s with the little grill on your head and the giant bubble, and you're going with the tube down to the bottom of the ocean, walking.
I saw it on TV, yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing. Mom, though, need suity, whatever the hell the thing is, right? So all those ridiculous suits, these glasses are equally ridiculous and stupid and bizarre. So of course I had to buy some. So I did buy some. But you were telling me that you brought on this self-inflicted emotional critical race theory wound by seeking out offensive content in a form you had no business scanning.
Well, no, you get the email from Nextdoor app and they're like, hey, some
racist
conversations.
Alert. Yeah.
Right. Good Lord. So it's not just my community that's on fire. We have had some listeners go back and forth on our Facebook page.
Oh, that was subgroup. So fun. Big John
we have had
Buchanan. John Buchanan decided to start mixing it up with his big old, twit whistle. He's got to get out there and tell everybody else, Amy fucked it up. And then I was amazed that Roscoe P. Coltrane came to my defense. And then also Dr. Cameron came out of the woodwork. So I got 2 on Team Shut Up, John. And I didn't even think they existed. It was so
You
exciting.
had more likes and hearts. You had more likes and hearts
did?
than that. People just didn't want to engage with like the
Don't
yelling.
Poke the bear. Yeah.
Yeah, with the yelling bears. There were 2 bears and yeah. It was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. I found it very amusing.
So if you're curious as to what we're talking about, you can find it all in the Brill Obs Squad Facebook group, which you are welcome to join. We take all comers. You can go in there and see it where lots of the conversation is. It's on Facebook. Search Brill Obs Squad. You'll find it where the conversation exists. We had some
prerequisites.
I had some listeners getting in there and saying, so Amy's a total dickhead and was on the show talking smack again, to which I said, your point being, I think listeners get this, Johnny.
So are you saying the title of our show is ironic? Is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe in my case. It is your name, not so my name. Anyway, we keep getting distracted from all the good things that you wanted to say.
So yes, I was on fire, and there was a throwdown on our page, which I loved. I love to see listener engagement, but was there also a throwdown in your neighborhood?
Oh my gosh. You know that the woods behind our house are woods no more. It's a giant,
that was really
desolate
sad.
wasteland. Well, now my big joke is they're in the process of installing all of the water and sewer and the rest of this stuff. So I keep saying there's some dudes laying pipe behind my house because there's these giant people digging wells and doing, well, not wells, whatever they're doing, right? We went back there just to talk to the neighbors. Sometimes you see people wandering back there and you think, okay, now we're going to have a dirt party. Let's go back and connect. Instead of next door, we go stand on the dirt pile and cry collectively. So she's just talking about her week and what was happening. And come to find out, she was yelled at. Not even yelled at. She was chased down, whistled at, yelled at, and finger in the face in the driveway yelled at by another neighbor.
What the fuck happened?
Right.
My ears just went up.
So
I'm all in.
So I've mentioned a couple of doors away neighbor who I super love, who has a really loud car, all the fancy cars, all the things, right? So this other neighbor also has a really fancy car. Doesn't take it out very much. They had taken out their whatever the hell it is, Porsche, some big fancy car, whatever. They had taken it out for a beautiful drive in the mountains and were just returning home. And I guess that third neighbor down the street decided that they were returning to their home a little too quickly because children were playing in the street and didn't like the Porsche passing by at whatever speed it was passing by. I mean, I can guarantee you they were not driving too fast. I already know this couple.
Wait, so they didn't do the arm flap of slow down? They didn't
whatever
just
they did.
flap their arms?
The one offended neighbor, my friend neighbor actually said he did a wolf whistle. So I only take it to mean he stuck his fingers inside his mouth and made that whistle that I don't know how to make. So it's one more reason I have to learn this whistle. So evidently he made the "you are an animal and I'm going to shriek" whistle at you, and then took to his feet and chased them, ran them down to their own driveway.
Well, if they're going that fast, you're not going to catch them on foot.
I mean, well, here's the problem. Our neighborhood is literally within the city limits. So literally our neighborhood streets, our city streets, even though it's ridiculous, there's gates. I mean, the whole thing, they're city streets. So the streets have a posted neighborhood-wide limit of 35 miles an hour. Now, nobody goes because it's that fast. Nobody goes 35 miles an hour. You always go much slower. I'm certain they were going much slower. But the point is, they weren't even breaking the law. They weren't even doing anything wrong. They were returning home. But to whistle at them, chase them down, and then stand in the driveway and say, my kids are playing in the street. Who do you think you are driving this fast? What are you doing? To which point, the husband of my neighbor, who's talking this smack,
get your fucking kids out of the street.
Why are they in the fucking street? We have multiple playgrounds. We have multiple gathering spaces. We have gazebos. We have, parks. We have all this shit connected by biking trails and hiking trails. And what you doing in the fucking asphalt? P.S. But I also say, do you really have to do that? If you are that pissed off and desiring to make a change, isn't it the kind of thing where you cool down and you come over an hour later, knock on the front door and say, I just got to say, hi, my name is Dick. I live down the street.
Introduce myself.
I live down the street. And I just wanted to engage you. When you drove past, my kids were in the street. It really upset me. I felt you were going too fast. I called out. You didn't see me. So I just wanted to have a conversation about it. Or whoever. If you're going to confront somebody, what's the point? Was your point to not get them to slow down? Because that's what you did by running onto their property and threatening them. The husband the husband said, you go in the house to the wife, because he knew that the wife was about to, basically open up a nuclear bomb on this other person. So he's like, you just exit.
I love the women in the South. I fucking love Southern women. I really do.
The favorite part.
I have to manage my wife for a second here. Hold on.
My favorite part of this is the wolf whistle neighbor who was all, get your finger out of my face, Todd. The one who was screaming and yelling. Okay. He didn't even realize, I don't think, or else I don't really know how big his balls are. The person he was yelling at is the head of our neighborhood association. So, like the president of the neighborhood association. So I'm like, what the fuck you think he's going to do, Dick? What do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to
I would have told him, you should write to the association. Yeah, write to the association and see what happens.
I think that's a good move. That's a good move. So I found the whole thing just so strange that adults were getting to fisticuffs. But meanwhile, they weren't even talking critical race theory. So God knows
but doesn't that just address the temperature literally and figuratively in this country right now? It's getting hot there in the South. What's your temperature right now?
Hot. It's very hot. I want to say it's probably 82 right now. So.
Yeah, we don't have that. So you have some heat down there, and you have just temperatures rising.
We absolutely do. Just the whole thing I found so bizarre, and I'm wanting to leave out this piece.
How bizarre!
I'm wanting to leave out this piece, but I wonder if in the context of how you kicked off the show, the wolf whistle neighbor was Black, brown, African American, and the Porsche driver was old white. So
really.
And I have no idea how any of that factors into any of this.
See, that's funny.
I kind of feel like the second I say it, everybody's mind starts to go tick, 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 tick.
Well, because in my head.
Like those airline arrivals gates in Heathrow, like the old-fashioned ones, like, oh, okay, I'm flipping it. Now I see what's happening.
Grand Central Station.
And it's see, shit's not fucking happening. What's happening is you're out of line because you're not handling the situation correctly, even if they were driving too fast and at fault. But then meanwhile, you're like, oh, maybe it's a different thing going on. I don't know.
So in my head, everybody was white because this just seems to be I don't know, Southern what's proper, my kids. Like,
it's
I get
it's
thinking,
a Blanca McNot Noir kind of a town. Yeah.
I get the feeling of jump to mama bear when you think your kids are in danger. I get that feeling. I've had a fight with a referee in the middle of a fucking basketball game before for my son's honor.
Yeah.
I couldn't be any whiter. And that old man was even whiter than I am. And in front of an entire gymnasium full of people, ripped him a new ass, screaming at him, "You have no right working with children. Who do you think you are? What did you accomplish by shaming?" Like, I lost my shit. I felt the heat rising in my face, screaming at a white-haired old man.
Paging Dr. Brilliant.
Yeah, he was not there. I was all alone. Like, where is my husband to say, go sit in the car, I got this? First of all, I would have yelled at him
Cut to, nobody plays basketball in the Brilliant house anymore, so.
That is not untrue.
It was a career-ending move.
I lost my shit on this guy. Turns out, ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Turns out he used to coach for the high school.
Oh, Jiminy Crackers.
He retired. Oh. Everybody loves this guy, and he made a huge mistake that day, and he definitely apologized and whatever, but nonetheless.
Serving a little community service.
Right. He's just getting released now from his,
yeah.
So, but he made a mistake, and he definitely apologized. He did it both in public and in writing later. I get that guy flipped out because he saw a car hit in his head hitting his kids. I saw a man really wildly inappropriate with my son. Like, we are tall and we are fast at times. We have no other skills. We're Jews. We are not going to excel in sports. Do not discourage him.
Skills.
We do not, accounting maybe, do not discourage him at this young age from athletics. We need this. We absolutely need this. You want to discourage him from baseball, where I need to keep his uniform white? Discourage that. But basketball is my sport, and I love it. And I don't know that me jumping to my feet and flipping him over and ripping him open was really helpful either. But I do get that mama bear feeling. I understand him. And I definitely saw him on a folding chair made of woven fabric, watching his kids play in the street. And he was very white in my vision.
Man, and old and from 1940, I guess, because
I still have those chairs.
Not really
in my
how
garage.
We do things here anymore. But okay, I gotcha. All right. Well,
Fine.
And I'm telling it, just full John Buchanan's disclosure. I'm telling this story secondhand. I was not there. I got a first-person account, and it is
from a victim.
It is
from the victim,
truly filtered through a victim lens.
Yes.
Even when she was telling me, this should give you all you need to know. Even when she was telling me, she said, "I'm going to turn this way so my husband doesn't hear me telling you, because he would not want me to continue having this conversation."
So let's podcast about it.
Let's have a seat. Can I get some popcorn?
I've got some cheese. Do you want some cheese?
No, just the whole thing. So I'm just really surprised by it. And anyway.
Also surprising, as we said at the top, was the fact that Alec Baldwin shot a cinematographer in the abdomen and killed her.
Oh, I didn't even realize where the injury was. I just presumed it was like her carotid or something, because there was no saving her. How awful.
I thought it was her abdomen.
I'm sure you're right. I have no information
died.
as to where she was shot, just that she was accidentally wounded and killed on set.
Yeah, and he is beside himself, as anyone would be.
Yeah,
I am a huge Alec Baldwin fan.
Yeah, sure.
Huge. Love him. I don't care how many times you freak out on an answering machine to your kid. I freaked out to my kid. Not my best parenting moment. I am not allowed to judge other people's parenting. I am in a penalty box for that in the regular. But yeah, he literally killed someone, and he feels horrible. So says his own statement about it. But it turns out that the guy, the prop master, had previous comments about laxness on other sets, and I don't know, just not very good policy. So I don't know that I'd blame Alec Baldwin. In fact, I know that I would never blame Alec Baldwin, but it is the worst possible case scenario. And if Amy tells you in any way after I stop speaking that you would never want to do that, I'm telling you she would. Begin.
My only point in putting this on the board is I feel like the media is really focused on the wrong side of this story. I only have heard about it because it was on the news. So I've seen it reported in broadcast, in an evening show. I've seen it in a morning show. And I guess because of all of that, it came across one of my feeds from a People magazine article, People-esque magazine, right? If it wasn't People directly. And every single one of them talks about Alec Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, Alec Baldwin. The People magazine article even went so far as to quote the husband of the dead director of cinematography because they asked him how he felt Alec Baldwin was dealing with this situation.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. And
Are you fucking kidding me?
His answer was he's being very supportive. And I'm sorry, if my husband says to People magazine, Alec Baldwin is being very supportive after killing my wife, all that I want to hear from you, husband, from the beyond, all I want to hear from you is I vow vengeance on the nuts and spawn of Alec Baldwin this day forth forever.
Like, no, I vow vengeance on the guy.
It's not the grieving widower. It's not his fault. Whatever. It's not his job to worry about how Alec Baldwin feels. And it is super not People magazine's job to call him and ask anything other than, oh, lordy, lordy.
Or
how
ask
sad
anything,
are
period.
You?
Don't call him.
Can you color it in? Which is what they do, right? Can you? You're really sad. What's that like?
It's got nothing to do with Alec Baldwin. It's not his job to handle a hot gun on set. It is not his job to make sure the props are like his job is to stand there with a rubber or wooden gun for the first half hour of blocking, blah blah blah, and then when they yell rolling tape, they put the real thing, a hot gun, as I've learned it's called, in his paws. He does his little shoot. Then they come back, swap it out. His job is to stand there and act. His job is not to clean, to prep, to exchange, this is not about, as horrible as it is that he has to go through this. Stop. Full stop. That's the end of his involvement.
Right.
None of this has to do with him.
Let's talk about a woman who was killed at work. Who was accidentally killed at work. Gee, it's very sad for her assailant who now has to walk around with the knowledge that he is fully responsible for what occurred. He pulled the trigger.
Well, he thinks he is, but
he is. Right. He absolutely is. By definition, he is. It had zero motive, zero intent. If he knew he could have prevented this, he would. It's not about that. But if he had not pulled the trigger, we would not have this conversation. By definition, he is responsible. It's an accident. It's the same way that, the anvil that falls on the coyote is responsible for crushing the coyote. But we don't interview the anvil and say, how are you feeling about this? Was this accidental? I mean, it's like, yes, this is absolutely what happened. He is responsible for her death.
And I would go as far as to say he is not responsible because in 1,000 movies he's done the exact same thing.
I don't think he is. I don't think he should be held responsible. But from a definition standpoint, yeah. He is the responsible party, and there's no justice to be meted out.
You wouldn't say that the prop master is responsible for sloppy, shitty work, which led to.
I'm using the word. Yes, I would, and I'm using the word in other ways. I might say that Alec Baldwin, as an entity and as a producer, will be held accountable and liable for selecting the people in charge of the weaponry on set, for also hiring and having the procedures in place that allowed this kind of protocol to be breached or this process to occur. All those things. As an employer, he has a liability. But all I'm saying from a definition standpoint, he is the party that made this happen. I don't think he needs to be, held liable or culpable or whatever the words are. But he pulled the damn trigger.
He's
going to have to live with this shit. And that's, terrible and awful. And all of us, I think, are rightly swapping ourselves with him because we have this vision that we know him from his lifetime on our screens and in our stories in our heads. So we have this idea that, ugh, can you imagine going to work and having that horrible accident and having to deal with that fallout? But the truth is, the story is truly not about him. It's about an up-and-coming female artist who was accidentally shot and killed at work. This is the Brandon Lee story. But nobody knows her. That's the thing. This is the Brandon Lee story.
Right.
All we talked about in the Brandon Lee story is that Brandon Lee is dead. How tragic. We never once talked about the person who accidentally shot him. That you'd have to go and dig and dig and dig.
Right.
But instead, it's totally flipped here because
it's the
of
name
fame.
you know.
And that sort of adds a layer of can't we even grieve for the right person?
She's got like 7 little kids at home, and that's all anybody knows. They don't know her, and they don't know.
I find it.
I remember swallowing real hard when I found out it was a woman. I don't know why that made a difference to me, but it really did.
And the dude who got shot made it. Thanks, dude.
Right, right.
Thanks, patriarchy. I'm sorry to joke about this. I'm not really joking. It is the patriarchy. It's very powerful. Brian?
I have my topic for this week that is going to... Every week I wait for you to say something completely ridiculous, and you've never disappointed me.
That's not
Last
nice.
week you were talking about folds in ears. 7. No fewer than 7 pediatricians said she's absolutely batshit crazy. That's not a thing.
They're so stupid. They're just so stupid. They're
right.
So stupid.
They're stupid, and their education counts not at all.
I want to tell you this story gets even better because I was never told by a physician that you can tell how tall a child was by the folds in the ear. I was told by another mom who was told by her pediatrician, who was not my pediatrician. And I have dined out on that shit for 10 years.
That's ridiculous.
And I keep waiting for somebody
and no
to
one
confirm
stopped
it.
you.
Well, I still think it's a good story.
Oh, my God. I can't with you. So here's the topic this week for you to opine.
Recording.
I love you so much. So I want to hear your opinion on this. Amy Fugazi.
Yes.
Do you know what soaking is?
Yes. Calgon, take me away. You sit in a tub, now you're soaking. Isn't that right? Is that it?
Also, what you do with a dish, that has burned on, caked on.
I'm aware of it. It's a part of cleanliness.
What about sexually?
Ew, God, what? No, I can't. Stop it. That's not a thing.
I live for this moment now.
You're so mean.
Where I'm about to educate you.
No, this is made the fuck up.
It's not.
First of all, Reddit. This is not a real thing. Number 1 thread on Reddit.
Wrong.
Things Here Melissa does not know. And the whole internet says, hang on, we got to create a duplicate internet for us.
Dear listener, start writing right now.
That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. I think I want to hear about soaking. And I can't believe I just said that, first of all.
It came from Mormons.
Come on.
If
you don't hear the words coming out of your mouth after they're out there, do you at least think them before you say them? This is the stupidest, ridiculousest thing.
Here we go. It is when the young man, because no fucking adults do shit like this, the young man puts his penis inside the vagina and they don't move. They just sit there completely still because it's not having sex where there's friction and movement. It is just, how do you say, soaking.
Lying? It doesn't make any sense. Soaking is not the right word.
Well, that's what they call it.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Soaking?
Bullshit.
How wet is this woman? That's not the right word that I would say.
I mean, it could be if he's...
That's super gross.
So that's what they call it.
Nope.
So I read this article.
It's false. What were you reading it in the Salt Lake Times? What the world are you even doing? I swear your content needs to be the.
Here's how it works. You have a couple. The guy inserts his penis in the vagina. He just lies there. He does. I don't want to tell you that I saw it on TikTok, or you're going to fucking freak out on me with the whole TikTok thing again.
Think it's credible.
Basically, it's a way to get around the premarital sex, which is something that's considered sinful.
Okay. All right. First of all, guys, I'm speaking directly to you, penis holders, meaning you have one attached. Okay, penis owners. If you're inserting your penis into something,
go ahead. Yeah.
That is technically intercourse. It's not the friction that determines, it's not the pleasure that determines, it's the insertion. That's on or off, guys. The light is on. There's no, you've broken the seal, okay? That's how it works. You are now intercoursing. That's sex. There's no soaking.
It gets better.
Oh, it can't possibly.
Basically, it's a loophole for Mormons to satisfy their sex needs without sinning. And as strange as that seems, if you're thinking, hang on, I am. Why not just invite a friend over to jump up and down on the bed to help the couple soaking get some thrusting up in there? Yeah, don't worry. They've already thought of that. They've already thought of that. It's called
Jeffrey Tubening.
Stop it. It's called jump humping. The Mormon threesome. It's not
called that.
The Mormon threesome that has gone viral on TikTok. God. It's where a friend comes over and in your dorm or at home and jumps on the bed while a couple soaks. Amy? What the fuck has happened?
What
has
happened? A thing. If you stick it
oh my God,
in,
it's so a thing.
You are in. That's the in part of insertion. You're in. There's no knot. It doesn't matter if you wiggle it, if you jiggle it. That's wiggle just for fun.
Just a little
as soon as you board the ride, you have taken the ride. Okay? It doesn't mean
I don't disagree with you.
I don't get it. I'm a Catholic. I know all the ins and outs of how do I defeat this system. And I'm here to tell you, you have not defeated anything. Soaking is not a thing.
So what do you think?
Why are you looking at Mormon TikTok?
I wasn't.
You're a white Jew.
I didn't even come across it on TikTok, but once I read this article that told me that they were soaking, I realized it doesn't even have to be Mormon. It's all repressed sexually religions that could possibly have this. How do you feel about soaking?
It's sex. What is there to feel about it? You're having sex. If you would like to rename having sex as not sexing, it doesn't change the fact that you're having sex.
That you're up in there.
It's sticking it in you. I mean, it's what you're doing. It's as ridiculous to me as when people would have anal sex and say, "Well, at least I'm still a virgin," right? Or they
the
would
back
have,
door. I mean, the butthole. The loophole.
They would have oral sex and say, "Well, that's okay because at least I'm still a virgin." At least there was some technical separation.
There's no technicality.
You're doing letter of the law business. You're starting to say, well, there is still one area that is sacrosanct. In this case, no. There's a room that, thou shalt not enter unless you rename it soaking and then magically it's okay. Twinkle dust. Jesus will let you on the ladder if you wear your funny underpants and bring all your friends with wheat in the basement. No, Mormons. This is not
I wonder if, with pre-ejaculate, you're absolutely, especially if you've got one of those jump humping, one of those friends who's there while you're in your girlfriend.
This is so made up. This is completely made up. There are not legions of little God-fearing women and men who have decided to have jumpsy-upsy-downsy dick in the snatch parties because they're saving themselves for God. That doesn't connect.
What doesn't connect? That there are religions that shame teenagers around sex being a sin, that there are teenagers who will find a way to find pleasure while trying to get around the shame involved with sex in certain very strict religions. It completely connects for me that this is going on. It makes complete sense.
If we have sex with someone else watching and that other person is actually holding your dick and I'm not the one holding it, and if we're under the bleachers at high school, it doesn't count because Jesus didn't go to high school.
Only if it's the away team. If it's on the home side, it's sex. But if it's on the away side.
It's just so laughably weird to think that this is a fucking thing.
I totally agree, but do you really think it's not a thing?
Yes, I really think
totally
it's not
weird?
A thing. I really think it's not a thing, yes.
Dear listener, once again, I turn to you. Brilliant observations at gmail.com.
Thanks for your
support.
You
won all the other things.
Hashtag Team Amy's right. Everybody knows.
I'm going to vomit.
Everybody knows.
Brilliant observations at gmail.com. Look us up on Instagram or Twitter at Listen Brilliant, or on Facebook, go to Brilliant Observations. Like Amy told you before, you could find us on Brill Ob Squad. I'm sure Roscoe and Johnny Boy have comments about this. Can't wait to hear them. Cameron, feel free to dive into this one. I definitely want your opinion. I want to know what you think.
Why? Cameron's not LDS.
No. Let's
just
keep going.
Learned and wise. Is that right?
Other dear friends of the show, I know you by name. And if you need to hear it, I'll do that too. Reach out and let us know how crazy Amy is for not understanding that religion is crazy in the first place. That forces you to
once
shun
again, you're
all
twisting.
things.
You're twisting my words. That's not it. That's not it.
Twisting.
You are.
I'm twisting.
Dick. You're a dick. You are. You are
You're
twisting the words. The words. You're twisting it. I absolutely didn't say anything about the religion's role in this. All I'm telling you is that this practice is full of kaflooey. This is
it's ridiculous,
this is not
but
a
they
real
do
thing.
it.
This is not a real thing. This is not a real thing. This is not a real thing. This is somebody.
Do your thing, listeners.
Urban Dictionary. This is not even. It's just not a real thing.
Did you just find it?
No.
And then exhale?
No, I don't look up teens
I
doing
sent
pretend
you
sex under new
I sent you an
definitions.
article.
Yeah, I get these things. When I'm podcasting with you, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I do love that.
I don't need to bring a friend into the room to
again.
jump up and down. I'm with you. It's you. Okay.
I have never wanted a friend nearby when I was having sex.
Oh, I kind of have. I mean, not an actual friend, but like another. Sure. I mean, I don't mind
to jump up and down on the bed.
Well, if you're gonna do it, let's do it. But I'm just saying, I'm not doing it because for Jesus. I mean, that's where it's like, come on, really? My eternal salvation means I'm safe and protected. I'm living up to the height of my faith experience because I have redefined this action with a new name. I call it something else, so it ain't that. It's so stupid. That's stupid. It's done.
But stupid. You agree that religion makes sex a sin before marriage?
Yeah, for a lot of folks. Yeah.
Several religions make sex a sin before marriage.
Right.
And it makes sense if you're following the logic that if teenagers who have been shamed away from sex or taught that it is a sin prior to marriage, and I mean, teenagers are going to have sex. It's
and the
just
more sexually repressive the religion, the greater the deviation.
Yes, the rebellion. Yes,
the sexual deviation among its membership. The highest levels of like violent pornography are in, I hate to say like Islamic countries, but it's the truth is it's the more repressed the society. It's a fucking fact.
Did you read a Pornhub study?
You can Google that shit.
Oh no, I totally believe it.
That's how my settings work on Pornhub. So. What's that drum intro that I know forever? Look, there is no end to the amount of things that I know nothing about, and I won't be stopped. I'm going to keep talking. Everybody knows
for
this.
A fact with no evidence whatsoever.
For a fact, without any evidence that soaking is not a thing. That's a made up.
Well, it absolutely is, but it is completely ridiculous. I would
come on,
be happier.
LDLs, come out of the woodwork and tell us what the hell we're talking about.
I would be happier if you said, I can't believe this is a thing because it is fucking ridiculous. And I would say, here, there. Yes, it is. But you're saying it's...
Yeah, I know it's not a
Insert,
thing.
I'll jump.
I know
I'll
it's
be
not
your
a thing.
jumper.
I know it's not a thing. I know it's not a thing. I know
either
that
way,
it's not a thing.
Thing or not a thing, either way, with another trip to Arizona, I'll jump on your bed for you.
Ew. Okay.
I'll tumble for you. I'll jump there for you.
I don't. No.
What?
I would do it with a stranger. I'm not interested in you being in there.
What?
And I mean, you're getting back to friends and vibrators. I mean, I just wanted to say I pulled up a list of some stuff, so I'm going to hop over. So we got ahead of ourselves by a few episodes before we've had the chance to circle back and share the voluminous listener feedback that we've received to your used sex shop conversation. Because that was a thought starter. That was a thought starter.
Toys store. It's a toy store for used vibrators and the like.
That's what I say. It's the same thing.
I don't want somebody who didn't hear the original podcast to be like, used sex? What? What kind of podcast is this?
Okay, so that's what it is. So here we have it. We're going to give some listener feedback because there was a lot of it, and I just want to make sure to capture it. And while we're rolling, I'm going to throw in a few other listener mentions because people took the time to write in, to fly in. But so Bonnie says, for the record, a friend who buys another friend an amazing vibrator is the best friend ever. Bonnie, you're gross. I don't know why you're saying this kind of
Bonnie,
stuff.
I'm on your side.
I thought we were friends. I'm going to cut you off. Another friend who I won't be friends with anymore, Annie, says names for the used sex toy store are, I could get used to this.
Love it.
I think it's fucking, that's really
Love
funny.
it.
That's really, okay, I'm going to stay your friend. That's really fucking funny. Rachel writes in and says, I too have names for the used sex toy store.
Bring it, Rachel.
And they are, play it again, oh.
Rachel, you might be my new favorite listener.
Coming around again. Nice. That's genius. I think that's really
nice.
Good. Second time's a charm. And twice is nice. I
find
find all these.
Twice is nice.
Twice is nice. I find all these delightful, even though the notion of a used sex toy store is fucking repugnant and gross.
The best.
And all of you people are sick and gross. And you can go jump on each other's beds. Okay? So there you have it. Then you already mentioned that John Buchanan was mixing everybody up into a frap and making sure.
It was from the Joe Rogan issue where Rogan with no information, just like you, with no information whatsoever.
I just wanted to make sure if it was lost before, if it gets cut in our editing. Roscoe, thank you. Cameron,
you're the man.
Thank you for coming to my defense and telling John, why don't you just go sit down? So I think that's great. So I also didn't realize that Mark has been posting a lot of potty art. Do you know this person?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do.
There's a toilet. There's a toilet timer so you can know how long your duty takes.
No, I think it's to make sure you get the fuck out of the bathroom. It correlates with the amount of time it takes for your legs to fall asleep having sat there too long.
Well, of course, then there's value in that. So, okay. So between Mark and also Joelle and Kay, all the way from Australia, she's dropping some potty humor in there too, along with some hilarity bombs. And Kellyanne loves listening to us on the commute and wants to know why we hate Penn State. And I mean, I feel like that would be an entire episode. So we'll have to get back to you on that one, Kellyanne, because there's lots of reasons. But I am here to say that's a lot of people who are writing and talking and calling and tweeting and twatting and all the things that they fucking do. And I mentioned Joelle in there, but I'll mention her again. Hey, Joelle. Thank you, friends.
I love it. I think it was Susie who wanted to know why we hated Penn State. And we don't hate Penn State. We just are not sending Melissa's daughter there. We don't hate it at all. We don't have hate for anyone.
It is Suzanne. I read that wrong. Sorry.
Unless it's the people who tell you that sex is bad, and instead of preparing you for safe sex and good sex, if they tell you that it's sinful and shameful and force you to soak to find a new way to express your joy. Because that's totally inaccurate, and I wonder how many Mormon pregnancies come from soaking.
Oh, my God. Well, listen,
I don't know how I could be pregnant.
Especially because we were doing it the right way. We weren't really having sex. We were just having
We didn't move. We just soaked.
So that doesn't count, right? If there's just the insertion, then what could that possibly be other than all of the sex? So I don't know if we have time to cover this last piece, but I did want to actually say another write-in from a long-time listener, first-time writer-inner. It's a dear, brilliant observations. Can you help? Offer a little advice.
Oh, I love this. We love not to help.
Dear, brilliant observations. We love not to help. My wife and I are troubled because our son, Dan, is currently interested in a young woman we do not approve of.
Oh, dear.
How to help? Yeah, so I think we all have fallen victim to, my son digs on trash. So what are we going to do about this? How do we help? How do we assist? And they gave no feedback as to why this objectionable woman is objectionable. So we just have to presume that she's just fully unsuitable for no other reason than they've deemed it so. So I don't know if it's legit or if it's just like...
You bring her into the fold. You let her look ridiculous in the family and world that your son has grown up in all of these years, and you bring her in and you treat her. If he loves her, the more you say, I don't like her, the more he's going to dig in and love her more. So you bring her into the fold. You try your best to be human and accepting. And when he sees that this person, with whatever the objection is, be it her attitude, her beliefs, her clothing, her mouth, whatever it is, he has to see that human standing next to his mother. her soaking abilities.
Felt like a little first person POV there.
Whatever
mouth.
it is, he has to sit there and watch this human that he likes, like, wash the dishes with his mother. So that is going to be, I think, one step too far for him to be able to put the two of you in a room. So just be as open and supportive of your son as you can until he wakes the fuck up and sees that this is not the direction I need to go.
So you're taking the lean in and treat him just like I treat Amy approach. Give the girl a lot of rope. She will hang and smother herself.
Or he likes trash. Like, it's one or the other.
I don't think he likes trash. This kid doesn't sound to me like he likes trash.
So it's a surprise.
I don't get the idea that he likes trash. I know that my kid likes trash. I do know that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The more damage, the better. It's like he's got a radar. I don't understand what the point of that is. And it's not for effect. There's just a comfort level there. I think
I perhaps
can fix that nothing too perfect is ever going to be expected of me. I think it's really more about setting a threshold. Like, I don't have to meet any standard here. We good. But at the same time, I don't know that the lean into the dirt is the way to go here. Right?
Well, I don't know what you mean by dirt, but if this is a woman that your son likes and is dating and is soaking, with whom he is currently soaking, then for you to, I don't know how old he is. There's so much I don't know, but I'm on the lean in. This is a human with whom you enjoy spending time. Well, I want to spend time with you. And in some way, I want you to compare her to your mother. Is this someone that you are proud to bring around your parents? Is this someone that you feel represents you? Because they will eventually. So if that's something you stand by, then yeah, all right, I accept you and somebody you're inside.
Wow. I used to always, in the beginning days, when Rocco was getting his dirt meter, fine tuning it down to the lowest possible depth.
Finding the trashiest of girls.
I would try not to get too engaged. I would try not to get too involved because I also know that, like a fruit fly, he would be off it, very quickly as well.
Easily distracted.
Just stay out of it and let it blow over. But I would always point out to him, you are being intimate on some level with this person. Whether it's emotional intimacy, a deeper friendship, whether it's the actual, Latter-day Saints,
jump
pretend
humping.
Sex, jump hump. Like you are being intimate. You are sharing of your spirit and your time and your wisdom and your soul and your love and your emotion and all the things. You're sharing it with this person.
And hopefully with condoms. But yes.
You know what? You have a finite amount of energy in the world. So just think of it that way. How much of it do you want to give away for nothing? How much do you want to give away of yourself, of your connection, when you're not receiving that same level of intimacy and love and respect and elevation in return?
What if he feels he is receiving it?
It's not your job.
You just don't get it.
It's not your job to bring up every other person in the world to a higher level. Sometimes it's reciprocal. Sometimes the other person is there to elevate you. So he was always in a situation where I felt it was out of balance in our house. I felt like he was constantly the one elevating the others around
Everyone
him
else.
that he would select. And I said, you need to maybe select somebody who's going to pull you into a smarter, brighter room. You need to reach up and go up on the next step. It's okay for you to do that. You don't always have to be pulling up the other person. And if that's the situation in the house, I can't imagine it is, but if that's the situation, that's a conversation to have. The other conversation that I like to have when he got a lot older, which is probably too old for this particular kid, the other conversation I had, it directly relates to condoms. And I would say, there is no way in the world that this person is going to be attached to our family forever.
I am not raising her babies.
Yeah. Right. And guess what? You could find yourself in a situation where you have a baby and now you are attached to this person forever. I will never accept her. I will never like her.
You could put her on set with Alec Baldwin.
Welcome her. And yet, we will always be around her, attached to her. We will have a lifetime of friction because it's not changing for me. This is not a person who is worth everything that you offer. Sorry, it's a fact. So just know that in every encounter you have with this person, that's what you're risking because it's not going to get any better. It's just going to get a lot more complicated and worse. There ain't condoms that can fix this shit. Sorry.
So
and those relationships would wither and die immediately. Yay.
I think I have a different theory about my daughter than my son. For my daughter, no one is so far. I mean, there's been no one who is good enough for her. And I think she knows that, right? I think she's aware. You have to find somebody who is, in your eyes, a little too good for you. Like cultivate you have that. To like raise your game a bit to be with this human. I told you, maybe, how many episodes do we have? I maybe told you 217 times, I'm a nicer person with my husband. I'm a dick. If I were left alone on my own without the dickweed, if I were left alone, I mean, I could easily spiral. He is a much nicer person. He makes me a better person.
You yelled at me so bad, I was scared, and I had to actually yell at you back. I was just trying to buy a t-shirt.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You were super mean and frightening. You yelled out loud. I jumped. I actually rose from the ground and jumped because you started yelling. You got to a point where you'd had enough being around other people. And your mouth started making loud yell noises. Yeah, I know. I know that happen. you need the tempering of Dr. B. I know
this did not happen. You're making this up, but he makes me a nicer person. I second guess the catty shit that goes on in my head before it comes out if he's standing there because he's just a nice person. Prior to that, I dated dirtbags and crazies, right? So
right.
So my mother would see a movie and she would see somebody whose girlfriend was killed in front of him and had a psychotic break and killed somebody else, and she would sit there.
Yeah,
she would sit there and say, and then you would meet him and you would date him, and I'd be like, yep. I'm just watching a movie with you, bitch. Don't take this chance to insult me.
We got enough layers. We don't need to bring her into this. But I'm saying yes.
Very true. So that's for my daughter. For my son, as also that whole condom theory, I'm not raising that crackhead's babies, but we can get rid of him. Men get to walk away is my point. We could be done with that human.
Theoretically, they get to walk away. Theoretically.
I don't know that I would do what you said and say she will never be part of, will never accept, because she will have created another human that I feel like you just drew a scenario.
These are for casual hookups. That really was more a point of there is no such thing as a casual hookup. Please be advised, you slutty teen. There is no such thing as a casual hookup. They always have consequences. At a minimum, the consequence is you are sharing something intimate and private of your own with someone else. And why would you do that carelessly? Period. Then if you want to layer onto it, you could be creating a permanent situation out of what to you is already a very temporary relationship. You on some level know that this is not your lifetime relationship. You could be making a permanent decision here. So just, you got to wise up. You have to figure out what you're doing. Now, this is very different for the, younger end of the spectrum, but it all leads to the same damn place.
Yeah. Next weekend is family weekend at the University of Pittsburgh. This is the exact dinner conversation I'm having Friday night. So let's enjoy that. Actually, I said to my son, make plans for us. We're coming. And he's like, nothing happened. He made no plans. So we chose to reserve a room at a restaurant, and my girlfriend and her daughter and potentially his boyfriend and whatever, big table. And then I get a text, Ma, Machine Gun Kelly is going to be in Pittsburgh on Saturday night, and I want to take my sister. And I'm like, your sister and your parents? No, just his sister.
Yep.
Yeah. So the only plans we had for family weekend are now because they are going to Machine Gun Kelly, which I'm not a big fan of Machine Gun in your name. So right away I've judged you, but all right, fine. I don't know what we're doing for family weekend. I could just stay home for family weekend, but I will be Friday night having the conversation. You might be enjoying this now. My girlfriend tells her daughter, don't give your heart away. Know that you're both on the same page. If it is just sex, let it be just sex, but know in your head that both of you are in the same place. Because I don't know if you remember college. It's hard to be in the same place. You have to make sure that you both know exactly what's happening. Well, and you have condoms.
That's exactly right. And there is something intoxicating and provocative about being around a peer who is literally turned on by your very presence. The newness of that experience.
It is intoxicating. Yes.
It is overwhelming in ways that I think we forget, even as adults who may be still dating or in a situation where they're regularly encountering that kind of sensation. When you're in the early stages of becoming aware that there is the possibility of being turned on by someone else. And guess what? They're turned on by me too. Yeah. When you're in the first early, young teen stages of that stuff, it is so exciting. It almost doesn't matter who the other person is. And that might be a part of this scenario as well. I don't have any background information.
Yeah, we need more information to better advise you.
It's a younger kid. It's not somebody who's like, he's been dipping his wick every which way. What now? Okay. No, it's not that. It's very, very early and formative.
So, dear listener, my answer is be supportive mostly of your son, because this is a child who's potentially bringing a girl to you. He won't do that. He won't make that mistake again if it's met with, don't bring that trash here. You're
totally right, and I'm skipping the part that we've said on all the other podcasts, so I want to at least say it here in the context of the conversation we're having. Have a very open, tell me every single thing down to the last sort of detail that you're doing. Even physically, I've gotten a play-by-play from this kid. It's gross, but I know every single thing. So when we have these conversations, they're very graphic on both sides. If that's not the conversation that you're starting in, it really should be, I'm your parent. I'm here to listen. Anything that you want to tell me, you're going to hear without judgment. Even if I disagree, right now, I'm just going to hear about it. So there's no punishment. There's no judgment. I just want to hear, because the more you keep them talking, the better off you are. Even if they're saying shit that is repugnant, that you can't stand.
It makes you want to stroke out.
If you cut them off now, if you turn them off now, you'll never know what. Yeah, they're not coming back. So you got to suck up the horrible stuff for a while and just let it, roll off your back. You're a turtle.
Slam your head into a toy chest. Do whatever you have to do.
Say
Bite
nothing
your tongue
critical.
Until it
say
falls
thank
off.
you for telling me.
I'm so glad you feel you could share this with me.
Reward them for telling you about this.
I love
trashy,
you so much.
Trashy.
Here's a cookie.
Shit. Yeah.
I just bake you chocolate chip banana bread.
Right into podcast and say, how do we dump this terrible piece of trash? Because when my son talks about it, we say, oh, that's exciting. What else?
Exactly.
Can you tell
just
me?
Be supportive.
Let's have some cookies. Yeah.
Be supportive.
Be supportive.
And thank you, dear listener, for supporting us for all of these years. Closure? Is that closure?
That is closure. And I actually want to do a closure this time. I know you've already done the socials dance, but I did want to say, we mentioned before, Brillob Squad Facebook group. We'd like you to go there. We also would like you to take a survey for us, gang of friends. We have been requested to put out a demographic survey. So it's basically, tell me more about your eyes. Please tell us about you, dear listener. Totally anonymous. You have the option to supply your email address, but if you do not supply it, we will not have it and will not connect it to you. So if you would like to give us some anonymous feedback and also demographic information about yourself to help us with sponsors and advertisers, and also to improve the listening experience of your show, we invite you to take this survey. We will post a link to it in Brillob Squad. You'll find it there. If you can't be bothered to go there and you're not email scared, you can just write brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Request the survey. We'll send you a link directly. And that would be delightful if you would do that. Please do.
Please do. Thank you for listening. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.